Hey, happy holidays to everybody. Hope everybody's having a good time with their families. Another year is coming to an end. Another year, man. Seems like time just flies, you know. 25 books came back from CGC. These 25, I already know what's in there, and I did look at the grades. These 25 are coming from Mr. Kendra. I sent these out, I want to say it was in March, sometime in March or April. And I just got them back today. Let's look what's inside. Yeah, I'm not going to be taking these out one at a time because they're mostly one book. I was hoping to get a much better turnout than what I got, but it is what it is, you know. And this book has taken a little bit of a dive, but I don't think this is the time to sell these books yet. Let's check them out and we'll see what it is. Okay, so I was a lot more excited when I sent these out back then. Reason is because I sent 21 of these in what I thought, I thought that the majority of them were going to be 9.8s actually. I think I had a really good shot at most of them being 9.8s. These are the 1994 Hamilton Power Rangers. This is the first comic book size appearance of the Power Rangers. Sure, you had the Sentai number 2 that came before this, but that was comic book cover, but inside it's mostly magazine, but it's probably regarded as one of the first. And of course you have the mini book, almost like an ash can size, that came in the Fruit of the Loom. That was also by Hamilton. It came in underwear, I believe. It's only one 9.8 graded in that, and already sold for like, I think it sold for like 1,500, or was it 5,000? Either way, only 252 or 53 9.8s in this particular book. That's for a 1990s book. It's actually not so bad. Obviously, there's going to be more, but the reason that there's so little is because 600 only have been sent to get graded. They, outside of the 9.8, they're not really worth that much. The 9.6s are around 120 to 150, and the 9.8s have taken a little bit of a turn on the downside, as most comics, especially moderns, have. So the 9.8s, I've seen some of them go for a little bit over 200, and then now recently they started going back up again, up to like 380. I think I saw the highest one. But look at this, 8.5. Oof, 8.5. Again, less than 600 of these have been graded by CGC. Only 252 or 53 in a 9.8. So, and the reason is because of that power up card that comes included in this, and it creates like a little bit of a crease. That crease has to be taken out. I'll tell you what, I think Mr. Kendra did a really good job taking out that crease. Some of these did need a lot of work. 8.5 does seem, man, seems a little bit, I don't know. But luckily only one 8.5, one 9.0, two 9.2s, we got 4 9.4s, 10 9.6s. I feel like I'm looking at my Blue Marvels, man. That's what I feel like I'm doing. 10 9.6s. I mean, is it worth it to break them out and send them in again? See if I land 9.8s, but it, you know, I could land 9.4s too. And I got only 3 9.8s. Only 3 9.8s. I started out with 3 9.8s. Of course, one of them went to the great one in the giveaway, and the other two I ended up selling. I sold them for like $500 each. The other 2 9.8s. The last one that I sold, I used the proceeds to buy the newsstands, and one newsstand hit a 9.8, so that ended up being a good, ended up being a good deal for me to sell one of them and turn it around, and because I think I'm gonna keep that newsstand. I think. Okay. I've seen newsstands for sale right now on eBay. It's not my newsstand. It's somebody else's newsstand. I think they got it up for like $1,000, but it hasn't sold. Power Rangers. I don't know if it's the time to sell them right now. I know that Hasbro is going to be having an event. They were supposed to have some kind of universe around the Hasbro properties, but I don't know what's going on with that. But this is still a pretty decent spec. And these books I paid between $5, no more than $15 each for these particular books. I paid significantly more for the newsstands, but even the newsstands aren't commanding great prices at the moment. They're not. The 9.6s, again, they're going for around $120 to $150, and the 9.4s, I don't think they're going to be worth it for me to sell them yet. So excuse me. So these are going to probably become holds for a little while, which I don't mind holding, by the way, because the property of the Power Rangers, it's a great property, so and I've had success with these books already in the past, so yeah, I'm going to definitely be keeping some of these. So there's only 4 more books in here. Okay, one of them is huge. I'm going to take this one out. That's not the huge one, but I'm so glad I got a 9.8 on this. I sent this one out to get a pre-screen. See if I can get a 9.8 on the pre-screen for this. Let me take it out of this. But it failed the pre-screen 9.8, so I sent it to Mr. Kendra, see if he can clean it up and see what he can do with it. And obviously he got me the 9.8 that I wanted. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is embossed. What this is a mail order, right? This was you had to make a donation in 1992. You had to make a donation to UNICEF of $5, right, through the mail. And they sent you a comic book. For every $5 that you donated to UNICEF, they sent you this book. It's the only way that you could have gotten it, though, okay? And I sent a whole bunch. I think I might have gotten like 10 of these, I think. I got some of them there, but the majority, because they were, by UNICEF and they mailed it back to you, they weren't really packaged well. They weren't packaged like comic books should be packaged today. So they came with a little bits of wear on the spines. And I'm glad to get a 9.8 in this. This is a very rare book, especially in this high of grade, and I'm going to be keeping this book. Definitely keeping this book. You know what? Just because of the rarity, I would say that this is a book to keep in your collection. I don't believe they go for much, even in a 9.8, guys. So for those Spider-Man fans looking for something rare to have of Spider-Man, get this, man. Get this. And you get Venom with it. And of course, you get the Daredevil, who's pretty hot right now. Never been a Daredevil fan. Really haven't been. All right. Again, I like the Power guys, but seems to have a lot of fans. You know, he is able to hold his own comic book for decades. So, yeah, I love having this in a 9.8. That was my intention. This is staying in the PC without a shadow of a doubt. Go out and get it. I'm almost positive that the 9.8 goes for under $200. Almost positive on that. Okay. Show you guys the next book. Next book is a huge book. One of my personal best moments here on this channel was when I found the deals in Midtown for Something's Killing the Children. This is before this book went nuclear. They were selling Something's Killing the Children, all types of printings in Midtown. And I put it out there. I made a video and I put it out there. Hey, Midtown's having this sale. And I bought 10 of these from Midtown. I didn't go after the rest of them, though. I should have. I mean, in retrospect, you know. But I know a lot of my core guys took advantage of it. A lot of them. One of them was Wilbert, and Wilbert killed it with this. Killed it. He's got a bunch of 9.8s on the Unlocked. I know he got a few of these in 9.8. And I know a couple other guys here also got some. And I don't know if they ever got them graded. But yeah, that's one of my best moments, I think. Because, you know, of what the book turned out to be. And you know what? It hasn't even stopped. This book is only 2 years old. 2. This character is in its infancy. It's already a $1,000 book. Is it too fast to rise? Man, hard to say. I'm gonna say no. No, I don't think it's too fast. I think it's a product of the current age in comics, right? This age in comics is different from another age and from the age that I grew up in. The fact that I grew up in the 80s, you know, with my comics. Back then, I mean, kids that were collecting comics, I wasn't thinking about investment. Not really. Even in the 70s, people really weren't thinking about investment in comics. You know, the 70s, 1970, you could have gotten an Action Comics #1 for $250. You know, it's become, it wasn't until the 90s that people started thinking about, hey, you know what, maybe these comics are worth something. But then at that point, they were being overproduced, in mass, you know, quantities. And then, you know, what would be something rare became something that that anybody and everybody had multiples of, you know. And now some of those books are starting to you know, to hit again, even though they were overproduced, because, you know, they were worth nothing, and I don't think they took good care of them and stuff. And now it just becomes like nostalgia for some of these books. This book, though, it's in this era. People already know that comics, certain books, possess value, and that character right there, she is a top level character. I'm telling you guys, I see that character in the same respect as a Peter Parker and a Clark Kent and a Bruce Wayne. You know, I'm seeing her like that. This is only 2 years in, and this character is killing it for a company that is not they're not, I mean, are they top 4 right now? I guess you would say probably top 4. Would you put them there? Obviously Marvel and DC are 1 and 2. I would say, what would you put? Image number 3 maybe, right? Dark Horse or Boom? I'd probably go with probably Dark Horse, because they now I believe they got Star Wars now back, right? But Boom has Erica. They have Erica. It's huge, man. It's freaking huge. She represents, for me, you know, Boom Studios, and she's gonna make this work. She's gonna make this work. 2 years, and it's $1,000 book. 2 years for a book that's produced 30, what did we say before, 33,000 I think it was for a number 1, right? And it's not this one. That's including the unlocked, you know, the unlocked variant, the regular Jenny Frism variant. So there's probably half of these and half of the Frism. So you're talking probably around 16,000 of these, 16,000 Frisms. I don't know the exact numbers. Okay, 50,000 total print between the first print all the way up to the 6th print and the store variants, right? Yeah, very high on that book. These 3 books that I sent out, I sent them pre-screen. They failed the pre-screen, so I sent them to Mr. Kendra. Mr. Kendra got me 2 9.8s and a 9.6, you know. So out of the 10 books that I got back from Midtown, I now have 8 9.8s, 196, and the other one I believe I got a 9.6 on it, because I sent it to I think I sent it to CCS, and it came back a 9.6, and I sold that. I sold that back then, like it was like super cheap, like $200 I think I sold it for. That's a shame. But this ended up being, despite the fact I didn't get the 9.8s that I wanted, right, ended up being a success, because I got 2 more cover A's and 9.8. I got my 3 books back, Power Rangers, of 9.8s. I think I'm gonna sell these though. Okay, I might keep one, maybe. Might keep one. More than likely, I'll be keeping the newsstand for sure, the 9.8 newsstand. I'm still waiting on the second print 9.8s. Well, not 9.8s, but the second print to come back. Hopefully, one of them will be a 9.8. That's better worded. And of course, I got this. So yeah, man, it's 6 9.8s out of 25 books, but hey, it's a success. It's a success. These books I'm not ready to sell. I am going to be keeping the majority of my Something Scaling the Children number 1 cover A's, but I will eventually sell probably half of them. Probably. Maybe a quarter of them. I don't know. I got a lot of number 1s of Something Scaling the Children, including some of the other printings, okay? But, yeah. Oh, I gotta show you guys something too. Okay, I got messy and I lost the paperwork, or I didn't even print it. and I can't find the bill for CGC, but it's going to be, just based on the invoice that I got sent, it's going to be around $534. The cleaning the cleaning and pressing fees, I'm sorry, I'm actually falling asleep now, but from Mr. Kendra, that was $318 for sure, because I send them in bulk, and that includes also shipping to CGC from his address. All right. Actual price for the slab, the whole thing, it's going to be around $35 in change, less than $36. We're going to call it $35. So this was a success, big time. For these books now, there's only five. There's only 6 9.8s, but for this one, let's say Midtown was selling it for around what, $40 back then, plus $35. That's $75. $75 for this. A return for a 2-year property. I mean, where do you get a return like that on a 2-year property? Golden Age book? No, you really don't get that. I mean, unless you got maybe, I can't even think of a book. I can't think of a book that you can get that type of return on in 2 years. In the past 2 years, right? Moderns. People say moderns don't hold value. There it is, right there, right? Obviously, you got to pick the right modern, but yeah, always modern will be a book that you can get the highest return on investment. Of course, some books you're going to hold the bag on, okay? Not this one though, because I paid between $5 and $15. So we're gonna say $10 a book, because a lot of these I paid $5 each for. All right, but we're gonna say $10 a book. So $10 plus $35 in grading fees, it's $45. For a 9.8, yeah, that's huge. Now I only got 3 9.8 this batch anyway, so that one's a huge profit. This one is not. You know, maybe I can get even on this, but then with the selling fees, once it sells, I might lose money on this, and more than likely I would be losing money on an 8.5 if I were to sell it in today's prices, right? 9.4, I'm pretty confident this will go between $75 and $100 today. I don't intend on selling it at that price. I just think that this book has a lot of room to grow without a shadow of a doubt. And a 9.6 is currently going between 120 and 150. So, and again, I'm not willing to sell at those prices. So yeah, could you be making a mistake in not selling at those prices? I don't think so. The reason is because there's not that many of these books that have been graded in high grade. 250 9.8s. There's, I believe, around 200, less than 200 9.6s. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more of these books that come and get graded, right? But yeah, no. I think this property's here to stay. So I'm willing to hold on to it. You know, I held on to my Amazing Spider-Man 365s for how long, right? I even sold the lone 9.8, the lone 9.8 Amazing 365 that I had. Came back from me without even getting pressed at a 9.8, and then I sold that and I invested it into 10 newsstands, and then I got 4 newsstands. Oh boy! All right, the sale of the 365 for the newsstand, Amazing Spider-Man 365. It was for $1,350. That was my sale. Okay, on my comic shop. However, this is what's behind the scenes that people don't know about that book, right? I sold it through my comic shop. Somebody bought that on eBay for $1,350. On my end, it shows as a sale for $11.77, something like that. I had fees of $101, $101, a little bit less than 101, but over 100. So it was like 150 cents or whatever. Okay, all right. So if this person would have bought it on my comic shop, he would have saved himself some money. He would have gave me a little bit more money, because I had it up for $1,500, and then he offered I forget the numbers. We went back and forth on offers, and then I finally settled on $11.77, which was his last offer, which was $13.50 on eBay. I know this is really confusing, guys, but because my comic shop has to ante up the price on eBay, this is why I tell you guys, if you see a book that the seller is my comic shop, don't buy it on eBay. Buy it on my comic shop, where you're going to find it for a lot less. I had it up for sale in my comic shop for $1,500, but on eBay it was up for sale for like I think like $1,800 and change, you know. So the first offer, I might have took the first offer that he gave, but I rejected it, and I went a little higher, you know. Anyway, that ended up being a great, you know, it was a great spec for me, you know, because it was one of the newsstands, and I ended up getting another newsstand back that I bought afterwards. No, I might have had that one before, I don't know, and I got that one as a 9.8, so I ended up having 5 newsstands of that, so I still have 4, but I'll have more on that book later. Anyway, I know I'm not making any sense. I'm probably not making any sense right now, man. But dudes, I am preparing more books to send to my comic shop, because sexy lady, because you gotta feed the hobby. Yeah, that's it. You gotta feed the hobby, right? For every book that you're gonna keep, you gotta have something that you're gonna sell. Look at that. Gotta have something that you're gonna sell. So we're gonna be sending these out to my comic shop, get them sold. I'm gonna put a couple more in here. Okay, these are gonna be sold in auctions in my comic shop. I'm selling my my old label 9.8s of Batman 612. You're gonna see them in my comic shop auctions. A lot of times you don't get as much in these auctions, but yeah, I just gotta move product. Really do have to move some stuff, so this one will not be an auction for sure. Gotta come up with like 5 or 6 more books, but anyway, later, my dudes, happy holidays.